here with the Pawn Man. We had him on the show a little bit ago, and it was actually kind of fun. I mean, we didn't know that you were so cool there, Pawn Man. You got a lot of stuff that goes on in your shop that's just so unique and different, and it would actually make for a really good TV show. But
Yeah.
I just want to say hi, and what's going on with you lately?
Well, I'm full of surprises. Just ask anyone who's ever slept with me, and then they go to get an STD test a few weeks. I'm just kidding. I have been busier than shit. I am a lot bigger than when you talked to me last year. It has been. I was looking at it. It was about a year ago. It was like last May or June. So thank you for having me back. And I've been watching more of your content too. You make great stuff, but obviously your audience knows that. What I have noticed is you seem to cater more to the more hardcore side of it, less about the pizzazz and the entertainment, and you more spit facts that are just kind of black and white. And you're catering to people where it's no nonsense. And there's a lot of nonsense with me. I'm a comedian too. I'm an entertainer. I like to perform on camera and tell jokes, and they're not for everyone. Not everyone thinks I'm funny. Not everybody is amused by me, but by and large, I think part of my success, or what I can attribute it to, is it's so off color, especially for this industry, that it allows me to stand out.
Well, what do they say? They say they're just jokes.
Yeah, if you get your tits in a twister about a joke, then you're not funny. Like it's a you problem, not a comedian problem.
Maybe if kids are around right now, tell them to go away, because Pawn Man's live right now with Spegtacular. So put them to bed, whatever you got to do.
I'll tell you this much. I get a lot of children coming in here with their parents. They want to take pictures with me and meet me. And boy, it really gives me pause about the amount that I swear. When I see some little 7-year-olds like, I love all your videos. And it's like, and I say cocksucker every other word. Shit, does your mom know that?
Maybe she watches you too. Hey, Pawn Man. So it's a pawn business, sort of, but not a pawn business, right? You don't actually do pawn. So explain that to people real quick. Remind them who you are.
So just to give everyone the fastest version I can, I was a struggling writer and artist, and my whole 20s was a bonfire of ambitions that didn't work out. And I'm working in restaurants, and I have a college degree from a good school. I went to the University of Minnesota. I majored in Japanese studies, but I could not get a fucking warehouse job or anything. So I get a tip from my dad that old guy that he knew who owned a gold business was desperate for a young person, begged him for a job, digitized his store, saved him from COVID because the guy was a dinosaur. And then after COVID, I was like, well, we need to diversify here, because the guy almost lost his business. I was like, I am not going back to restaurants. I'm staying in this industry no matter what. So I'm thinking social media is the answer here. And I went to the Pawn Stars store about about 3-4 months after I started working for the guy, just to visit. It was before the pandemic. And then 3 months later, I went out to New York City and I met Tommy Haynes, Stack in NYC. And the two of them, the Pawn Stars store and meeting Tommy, it was this aha moment of social media is the answer. So that is how I started making videos. The old guy didn't like it. It got big. I translated it to sales. Within 3 months of making videos, I was selling more from the internet than his entire business was. And he went crazy, and he tried a shotgun sale, forced me to buy his business. And I quit and I opened this store, and shall we say the rest is history.
Yeah, and it's not a pawn shop per se.
So that was a long-winded answer to how do we get. So the first thing I started doing was here on YouTube. The old man and his crazy girlfriend would leave for the weekends and leave me in charge, and I'd start doing these videos. And I called it Evan Kale, is my name, is a pawn star, singular, not plural. Pawn star is pawn star. And I started doing that for a while, like first, maybe 10 videos, but I'm thinking I might get sued. You know what? This is And so one of my followers or subscribers started calling me Pawn Man. And I was like, that's catchy. So now I have a trademark. It's my name. It's, yeah, but I don't do pawn here. It's not a pawn business per se. It's a whole different animal doing pawn. And I don't want to do that. It's too much on the insurance. It's too much regulation. I got to buy power tools. I got to buy guns. I got to buy all kinds of shit I don't want to buy. Versus with the buy sell operation, I have a license. I have a precious metal license. I'm registered with the state Minnesota, but it's more Wild West, and that's better for me for business. It's just easier for me to have less rules and less red tape and less paperwork and more just, like I said, Wild West, buy, sell.
When it comes to the social media aspect, how many people are coming into your shop going like, I seen you on TikTok, I sif you on YouTube, and that's the reason why I'm in here today? Like how often is that? 1 in 3.
Is that prevalent? Yeah. Sometimes it surprises me too. Sometimes like older people that, it's like, God, who'd have thought how to work a cell phone? And like, oh, I follow you on the internet. That's my favorite is old people say, I follow you on the internet.
On the internets.
Yeah, internet's plural like that. I had a delivery driver a couple months ago, walks in here, he goes, oh, TikTok guy. God, I didn't know you were in Minnesota. Like, people, I get recognized going out. It's wacky.
They go, I've seen you somewhere. I know that face. And you're the guy.
No, I mean, I actually get people like I never have. I think I've seen you somewhere. People say Pawn Man, they know me. There's, TikTok right now is in trouble with Capitol Hill. The CEO is getting grilled. There's 150 million TikTok users in America, and I have 1.2 million. So I have almost 1% of TikTok users follow me, which is wacky.
Now, before we came on right now, you said, hold on, I need a little bit longer. I got this, end of the day customer coming in, selling me something. Can you talk about that? Like, what did they sell you? Why did you buy it? And why was it just different? Because it is a little different.
It was very different, yeah. And it wasn't even, I actually sold him some silver. So he came in 3 hours ago. That was 3 hours of my time, which, okay, that part I don't like, but potentially there's a lot of money to be made here. So I'm talking to this guy, he's from Venezuela. He ran away because, fuck Venezuela. Words from him. And talking to his wife, and two of them live up in Duluth, which is Lake Superior, and they're down here. But as we're chatting, he somehow brings up his art, and I bring up my deal, and we start talking about social media, and it turns into, he shows me his gallery, and he's like a respected artist who gets upwards of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for his sculptures, and he doesn't do social media. So I'm thinking, oh, here's an opportunity. I'm on the internet. I'm happy to commission. I'll commission shit if it's worth my time. You're selling something that's 20, 30K. That's worth my time. Something that's $50 isn't. So I ended up striking up a deal with him for a commission where if I can use my platform to sell his stuff, I get 10%. Came out of nowhere, selling him silver. And that's the kind of thing with how I do things, how diverse I've made this business. Because the guy that I worked for wasn't doing the things that I'm doing. He was doing coins, gold, silver, precious metals, but not weird historical stuff, not whatever you think you can make a buck on and putting it on the internet. And that's the joy of social media and just diversifying with social media is the sky's the limit. Now I'm an art dealer. I'm not an art dealer, but sure, now I am.
Well, you're willing to evolve. I mean,
yeah, exactly. And that's, you have to do that, especially with the economy and just the way things are going for small businesses. Do or die. Shit ain't working out. Figure out something new, try new things. If there's a new opportunity to make money, explore it.
Right on. What are you drinking?
Not liquor. I got a whatnot auction, and I broke my Pawn Man cup the other day. I was actually drunk in here, end of the day, and I knocked over my cup, but just water now. But if you tune in on whatnot, I'm gonna get very drunk because everybody who watches my shows knows I turn into something else. It's a lot of fun.
Jeez, backwards Pawn Man, whatever that spells out. That's what you turn into. So, okay, weird things walk into your shop all the time. Before we go into my question, I kind of want to ask you another question first. What's the weirdest thing that has walked into your shop?
Well, it was actually mailed to me. Didn't walk in because I have one of the first creative things I did, and it has been so goddamn successful. It's just a brilliant move I did to pat myself on the back here and be very humble. The remote deals program, where when I first opened the store, when I quit and walked out on the old guy and he laughed me out the door, I was open for business here 3 weeks later. I was like a bad dream. I just appeared. I got all my shit together. I got all my licensing. I got a location. I got funding. But, it's like, hey, at that point, I had 30,000 followers on TikTok and like 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram. Like, that was it. It's like, well, shit, what am I going to do? Because I'm sitting here the first 2 months. I'm bleeding money. Nobody's walking in. I had maybe 3 people walk into my store the first 2 months I was open. So I think, okay, well, I got to use my internet audience to start buying stuff because as a buy-sell store, you need to be buying and selling. So people started mailing me stuff, and it just evolved into this. I get packages now several a day. I'm doing so much buying remotely. People mail me stuff. You got to be 18, send me your ID, give me a list of everything. If I don't like the price or we can't agree on it, I'll mail it back. I've only failed to close 2 deals. And one of them, the guy wanted with just way too much money. And the other one was literally a box of junk. And I was like, this is worth like $10. You shouldn't have sent this. But the weirdest thing, again, long-winded here. I'd say the weirdest thing is also the wildest thing. I had, and I have to use the word allegedly here because I don't want to get in trouble. Allegedly, maybe supposedly, I got Nazi speed, meth, Pervitin, and maybe I took it because I'm a drug connoisseur. And oh, that was fun. So that I can't sell. If I got it, maybe I didn't get it. But Yeah.
You're just making that up for anybody that cares that's watching.
Let me put it this way. If I did take it, it was like diet Adderall, but that's what happens when you take speed that's 80 years old.
Golly.
Still going on. Saving it for a special occasion. I'm fucking not kidding. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding.
Actually, I totally believe you 100%. Also, anybody that wants to check out more of Pawn Man, I have all of his information down below in the description of the video. So don't forget to look down there after the video or during whatever and click away down there at his stuff. Okay, so Pawn Man, that was definitely a weird thing you got in. And the craziest part is you were willing to try it. What if it was anthrax? My goodness.
Well,
but anyway,
what was pointed out to me is, what if it was cyanide? Luckily, I know what cyanide looks like. It's a lot smaller. So I knew I took one look at it because the person who sent it to me thought it was, they said, are these Nazi breath mints? Because they have a swastika. And then there was like a little barcode on the back. And I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is Pervitin. Oh, fuck yeah. This is like 10 times rarer than a Quaalude. You know, that guy's stuck to take a Quaalude. I've never had one.
Wow. Hey, so you got in a really weird book from, I guess, from China, right? With pictures in it, some wartime stuff. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I recently made international headlines and almost started a fucking war. Total accident. Here's what happened. It was the remote deals program last August. Shortly after speaking with you last, somebody reached out and said they had a book of photos from World War II and they didn't know what to do with it. And they said some of the photos are disturbing. Well, a fucking war is disturbing. Okay. And in the past, I'd had people, they say, you know, I have Holocaust negatives that no one's ever seen. I have photos of this. It's like, that belongs in a museum. I can't afford it because that shit's expensive. B, don't want to buy it. I just don't feel right about it. There's certain things I don't want to profit on. War crime shit, anything like that. But, you know, it's like it belongs in a museum. However, I've never been able, even with my success on social media, at the time I had 250,000 followers last year when this saga started. I never had a fucking museum even return my emails or my phone calls, nothing. And it's like, okay, this is just very arrogant and rude. And like, you know, this is the high part of society looking down on me. Oh, you're making a big fuss on the internet with swearing and provocativity and, oh, we're not going to cater to you. It's like, yeah, but I have something that's historically important. I need your help. At least give me the fucking time of day. And it never happened. So I get this book and the photos are incredible, very high quality. And I'm going through it, but then it turns to massacre photos, like just straight up orgy of violence. And, you know, it's 6 or 7 pages worth. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this might be really expensive. And I saw the word Nanking Road. I majored in Japanese studies. I know a lot about World War II. Nanking massacres, one of the worst fucking things that ever happened, period, especially in World War II. So, you know, it's this horrible war crime that was covered up by the Japanese army. And there's very few photos. So I made the TikTok that I bet a lot of you saw, because like literally 1 billion people saw it, and it went mega viral overnight. I posted it. I left here. I went out with friends. I looked at my phone again at like 2:30 in the morning, and it had, oh my God, it had 5 or 6 million views like that. And and suddenly my follower account's blowing up, and I look on Twitter and I go from 625 followers to suddenly got 10,000 like that. And, you know, I was like, holy shit. And then I come in the next day and I got every fucking journalist under the sun. But then it turns into people are accusing me of staging it and hoaxing it and using a war crime to get famous. And suddenly it turns into this crazy negative thing. And it just completely fucked my shit up. It upended my entire life. I had to shut my business down. My phone was tapped. I had the FBI outside surveilling me. And, you know, I don't know, but there's a fucking service van outside my business for 2 weeks. There's a guy working on a telephone pole with a clipboard just standing there. I almost was like, you guys just want to come inside? I'd feel safer. I have coffee. I had somebody came in, tried to hack into my Wi-Fi. Like I said, I just shut my business down. I'm wearing a bulletproof vest everywhere I was going. I was getting death threats. It got really motherfucking scary. And on top of that, I had, well, like, you know, everybody on the internet is wanting to jump on this bandwagon. And what sucks is if you fucking type my name in, it does look like I used a war crime to get famous, because the initial reporting was I posted a few photos on Twitter, and turns out they were souvenirs. The bad photos are all probably reproductions, because sailors would buy these souvenirs, and like, I don't know why, it was sick, but they would do it. But it's some souvenir photos combined with all real photos. There's like 400 photos in the book, and you know, the violent photos, there's maybe 35, 40 of them. But the rest are all original. It's an incredible window into history with this sailor who took all these photos. And a few of the photos, it was questionable if some of them were souvenirs or not. I couldn't find it, but you know, it got so messy. I went from having every historian and academic, and I finally had museums all over the world wanting to help me. By Monday, the video came out on a Wednesday night. It was Labor Day weekend. By Monday, Labor Day, literally everybody had backed off from wanting to help me. They all just assumed that I was hoaxing it. So, I got my reputation destroyed. I went from having everybody wanting to help me, which was the whole fucking point of the video, to then nobody wants to help me. I don't want to say his name, a washed up fucking yesterday's news piece of shit comedian who should use his responsibility and fame way more responsibly than attacking me, made a video. It was so inflammatory, this guy's video attacking me. My mom called me in tears, wanted me to get fucking police protection. Yeah, I didn't do it, but so I lost 25 pounds. I really went on some bad drug abusing episodes, shall we say. A lot of drinking. So it was not good for me. But ultimately, what ended up happening, I got in contact with the Chinese government. I felt at the end of this, because I had Chinese people showing up in this store was a fucking shrine for a couple of weeks. The Chinese people were showing up with flowers, hugging me, saying, thank you for educating the world about this, because it is so important to their history. And it's not as well known. It's not taught the same way that the German genocide was. And the Japanese were just as bad as the Nazis in World War II. So because I brought so much attention, I brought more attention to this than anyone probably ever has since it happened. Seriously. Because of this, I donated the book to China. I had it checked out. I finally got some people to check it out. Nobody wanted to put their name on it, which is the worst part about it is, it turns out the photos, most of them were real, not all of them. Some of them were souvenirs, but I didn't hoax it. It was mostly a real document. I ended up paying for it out of pocket. The guy who gave it to me, I called him up a few days after all this craziness. I said, look, you don't want any part of this. I want off this ride. I'm going to just pay you what's fair, $1,000, and I'm going to just give it to them because I just want to put this to bed. I think is the best way to own this responsibly, to do the most constructive thing, to bring this story to a good conclusion, a positive conclusion. I don't want to piss off all of China because of it. If it could go sideways. It's scary. What I was suddenly just dealing with something. I was way outside my element. So they flew. I had a lawyer. I had to get a lawyer and lawyer up. And this was something people didn't seem to understand was I can't just fucking call a foreign government on my own and say, hey, you want to meet up in a parking lot? I got a little something to shake up geopolitics. So I got a lawyer. We had an agreement with China. They flew out 2 representatives from their government, an ambassador and his assistant, or whatever the fuck he was, and he didn't speak any English. He was kind of a weird. The assistant was weird. I like the ambassador. The assistant gave me a weird. Anyway, gave it to them, and I read them a letter, and then they gave me. This was in November, so 2.5 months after the video. They presented me with a letter of thanks from their government, and they gave me a porcelain tea jar. And I didn't know what the hell it was when they gave it to me. Turns out it's a national gift. They've only given 3 of them to private citizens ever. I'm the 3rd. Richard Nixon was the last American to get one. I can go there anytime I want. I could get citizenship there if I want. I'd have to renounce I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying. They gave me the highest honor they can give a foreign person. I'm literally on Chinese Wikipedia. Apparently, I'm the most famous person in Nanking, I've heard. So it came full circle, but
a porcelain tea jar is your gift?
Yeah, it's known as a national gift. Now, their culture values porcelain over gold and silver. That's what's going on there. Supposedly, the selection process of this jar they gave me, they smashed 1,000, and they gave me the best one. I've heard I can get $1 million for it or more at auction. Now, I can never sell it because that is the price of my integrity. That represents to me everything I did. And I would never sell it. And I almost wonder if they gave it to me to test my integrity. Because they, like I said, they fucking don't give out these gifts. They're meant for heads of state or countries at large. They don't go to private citizens. So
yeah, I think if I had a porcelain tea jar from China, I would definitely, the first thing I'd do is check the comps on eBay sold listings and see what they go for. And $1 million, I might have to part with that teacup.
I'm actually a little embarrassed because when they didn't tell me that I didn't ask for anything. I didn't do it to get something in return. I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do. And then they gave me the letter, cool. And they're like, we have a gift for you. I'm like, okay. And they go, it is a very important gift. Okay. And they kept saying it is very important. They didn't say we don't fucking give this to anyone. Do you know what a big deal this is or how expensive? They just gave it to me, and so then I put out my my summary TikTok on social media, and I'm talking about it, and suddenly I'm seeing on Chinese news, because this was huge in Chinese news, not just the front end but the back end too. Here in America, only the front end was covered. The back end they didn't bother covering it, which royally pisses me off. But neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm seeing on Chinese like media, like the fucking jar, the tea jar keeps coming up, and I'm like, what is this fucking jar? What's the big deal? When they gave it to me, I was making jokes about it, because I was like, well, I'm not, I don't cook, you guys, and they're like, you don't cook in this, and so then I found out afterward, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a boob.
That's
So the tea jar is in hiding. I had to get it. It's actually not even in the state of Minnesota. I have it in a secret location. I'm trying to get a museum to take it, but most museums want it donated, and I am not giving that away. That's mine to have forever. And I can't have it here in my store because I'm not going to buy $1 million insurance policy on something.
Well, that's a fascinating story. And what's really fascinating too is like you're saying that our news was covering the doom and gloom and the bad stuff on the front end, but then when China's so happy with you on the back, they're not really
nothing.
that.
Nothing. Yeah. Crickets. NPR has a podcast called Endless Thread. They put out a piece on it last week. That is the last journalistic outlet to cover it. Otherwise, when I had my meeting with the Chinese government, my local news ran a 30-second segment. That was it. Versus the front end of it. Oh my God, he's using a war crime to get famous. Let's all jump on this bandwagon and assassinate his character forever. Fucking Rolling Stone, Newsweek, Business Insider, Yahoo News. Like, type in my name, and it still looks like I used a war crime to get famous, and it just fucking fries me because it's not what happened. I did something dumb. I made a mistake. I should have been more careful with this. I should have seen, knowing fucking I majored in Japanese studies. I should have realized there's geopolitical gasoline all over the ground. And it was so easy to toss a match, and with a few words, I did. Fucking, I got warned by my lawyer. Stop posting about this. Stop talking about this. You could destabilize the region. You could start a war. Me, my fucking bitch ass. So yeah, it's just I was way outside my element, and it speaks to the power of social media, how fast things can spread, and as Endless Thread put it in their podcast. When you have a trauma that is not acknowledged and decades go by, it does funny things to people. Japan has never apologized for this officially, at least certain prime ministers have, but then the next one will go and undo the apology, like Shinzo Abe, big nationalist for Japan, never apologized, never even, as far as I understand, didn't feel so terribly bad about what happened. So it's fucking here in America, we apologize to the Native Americans. It's just some words. It's not that hard to say. But because Japan has never apologized for this horrible, horrible thing that happened, it is still so raw with Chinese people. And I saw that the Chinese people coming in here to meet me were younger than me, and they're crying because there's so much pain for this event. And it's just it goes to show, if you don't acknowledge something, if you don't own something, if you don't fix something, you just leave it, this wound that is scarred over. It is really easy to tear it open again.
So the War of Pawn Man, could you imagine that having, in 100 years, having that in the history books? The War of Pawn Man.
The War of Pawn Man. Yeah. Well, I don't think I'd sleep so good if I accidentally got 1 billion people killed.
How are you doing now as far as your health, your mental health, your physical health? You back to normal?
No. I'm still therapist shopping. I was seeing one guy I didn't really like him, so I'm looking for a new one. No, this whole thing really fucked me up. Yeah, I had imposter syndrome. I'll tell you that much. That's definitely a real thing. I lost a lot of weight. I physically look in the mirror and I can tell that I've been through a lot of shit. I got these dark rings under my eyes. I didn't have these before. I have way more wrinkles. I have more gray hair. Like I said, I lost 25 pounds. I got some of it back, but not all of it. I'm still 160. I was down to 145 at one point.
Take care of yourself.
I'm 6'2". My ass doesn't need to be 145.
No. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're being healthy, doing the right things. And a lot of people out there, I'm sure, will support you. I would support you in that.
Yeah, I know I do a good thing here. And the bottom line is, I actually wouldn't do anything different. I think this was important, giving this education to people, even if it meant I had to get thrown under the bus and have this thing that's going to follow me for the rest of my life. Because I get people still giving me death threats, attacking me, calling me a liar, calling me a hoaxer, and it's like, I can't. You know, when I get this, there were conspiracy theories on conspiracy theories about me that went so crazy. There's a conspiracy theory that the ambassador who met me was the crisis actor I found off the street. There's a conspiracy theory that the national gift they gave me came from Amazon, because I guess there's like a replica of it you can buy on Amazon. There's conspiracy theories that because I like Mobile Suit Gundam, the bad guy is the Xeon, and I wear that emblem all the time. It's me dog whistling that I've been the villain the whole time. It's in plain sight. Fuck. You really can't fix stupid. So one thing I hate about being on the internet and being this exposed is you are exposed to just how goddamn dumb people are.
You know, and people will say anything on the internet, which is why I almost don't believe that freedom of speech should be free on the internet. People say like, oh, I should be able to say whatever I want on the internet, but you have an edit button. You can delete things. You can change your mind about what you want to say. It's not like being in person, face to face, and saying what you really want to say. So people, like like you said, give you death threats. I've had death threats. The Wall Street Silver guys were giving me death threats. You know,
Really?
oh yeah,
I
trying
don't,
to do.
man, I'll tell you, I don't look at Reddit because it like nothing hurts my feelings. Reddit actually does hurt my feelings. It's this, some of the things on there that are written about me are so motherfucking mean. It's like, yeah, pass. Reddit crowd's fucking nuts though.
It's people saying whatever they want to say. It is what it is, like, yeah, you can't let it stress you out because it will.
Exactly. I mean, that's easy to say. And a lot of you watching, if you don't have a following, you don't know what this is like. It's easy to think, oh, if it was me, but no, even somebody who's never really given a shit and has always followed the beat of their own drum, it can get really hurtful, especially when you're accused of something you didn't do. Like, I couldn't imagine being accused of murder. This is a very extreme example, and you didn't do it. Like, holy shit, to fucking be in prison and have that be your reputation you're buried with. And it's like, God, I didn't even do it.
YouTube actually has some advice in their help files saying to, as you're managing your comments, take a step back and don't do too much at one time because it might affect your mental health. Because, hey, words can hurt, I guess, on the internet, right?
Yeah.
you see words on the internet almost started a war.
My favorite thing though with dumbasses on the internet are like people who hate you. Generally, it's people that can't fucking spell. And to me, if you can't spell in the age of spell check, who cares what you have to say? You're a goddamn moron. You proved it to me with your weird spacing and then like 3, 4, 5, 6 dots for no apparent reason with a comma in the middle. It just screams boomer on too many pills or moron or inbred or all the above.
So if you're going to do death threats, make sure that they're grammatically correct.
Spell right. My God, I'm a writer. At least fucking do me the service of spelling right.
Okay, let's change channels for a second. Gold and silver has been coming up a little bit here and there. What's your thoughts on those? Are people bringing that into the shop? Are they trying to buy it? What's going on with that stuff in your shop?
So I've been screaming for the last year that buy it now, because this shit is going to go way up. The economy is so fundamentally broken. The analogy that I've been making again and again, and now I have two analogies now. Indian Ocean, 2004, right before the tsunami struck. Beautiful day, and you got everybody on the beach, and suddenly all the water disappears from the beach, and you got all these people like, wow, weird. Oh, cool. And it's a nice day too. Cool. Hanging out on the beach. And it's like, motherfucker, there's a killer wave coming. This is nothing pretty here. What we are seeing in the economy is very similar to that, with how you see weird, there's weird things happening with prices, with the fact that you have inflation historically always pairs with gold and silver, and you get the opposite this time. And it's because we live in a world that is just unprecedented. Everything is so goddamn broken like it's never been before. Everything is in a vacuum. I read this book called The Price of Tomorrow in 2017. It's about all the debt in the economy and how it's unfixable. The tenets of the book was there's $5 in debt for every dollar in the global economy. At least there was in 2017. That was unfixable. What does it look like now after COVID? It might be 500 to 1. I don't know. I'll tell you, it is definitely unfixable. So like I said, I've been screaming the metals are going to go up. That this is going to correct. That this is, the rules of economics are like the rules of physics. That which goes up must come down. There is gravity. It's a bit displaced. Other analogy I'd like to make is it's like we're looking out in the universe and there's unobservable black holes where you can guess that there's something there because you see weird shit happening, although you can't actually see anything. And that's what we're seeing right now. Like, look at car prices, look at housing prices, look at all these banks that are suddenly failing. And then they're just kind of quickly plugging it up, like plugging up a dam with a newspaper. Water's going to seep through the paper. Things are fucked. They're going to get scary. And that you didn't have gold and silver explode right away when the war broke out last year, because I thought that was going to be what did it. But then Putin tied the ruble to gold. And so if gold had continued to run away like it should have, that would have just given him more power. There's artificial manipulation. And like I said, we are in unprecedented times. There's no data. There's no data set for what we're living in. It's why Brexit is such a goddamn disaster for the UK. Because the people who rolled out Brexit, the economists who were in favor of it, were using old data. Old data shows it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's like, no, you are in unprecedented times and you're using yesterday's information to navigate the waters of tomorrow. That's crazy. So yeah, it's going to keep going up. I don't know what is going to happen next. All I can say is I have been motherfucking screaming to buy the shit for a year. And now that's going up, I get people being like, well, can I still get it at that cheap price? No, you didn't listen to me. Hope you do next time. It's not too late yet, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's going to slowly creep up for sure. I mean, we have a really, like you said, broken system right now. Every time I go into a grocery store and I see that there's only like X amount of items, that I'm looking for, I start freaking out. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to get Lysol wipes again, what I mean, or whatever the case is. But, I see a really messed up system too, when you look at the price it takes to print a $100 bill and it's 17 cents. And it's like, they can just keep printing this stuff and then give it to us and say it's $100, but it costs them 17 cents. Like, it's just, it's a downward spiral. And how long is it going to be before it really breaks? We might be dead before then. I don't know. I can't say, yes, it's going to be tomorrow. Yes, it's going to be a year from now. It's going to be 10 years. But I think the best thing you can do is prepare, and maybe not put all your eggs into the silver and gold basket, but put some eggs in there, put some.
In my opinion, and I really hope that this doesn't happen because the loss of life will be catastrophic. If we have World War III and the United States wins and we're in the same driver's seat as we were after World War II, well, then we're okay. As Americans in the West, we're going to be okay. We'll be able to fix this and figure it out. You have too many outlier actors that are actually butting up now directly against the West and against the status quo. And they got a lot of money too. North Korea, China, Russia, they got a lot of fucking money. I shouldn't talk about China.
You learned your lesson last time?
I will say that is one thing that is going to follow me forever is, you want to talk about China? Because I don't. No, next.
You're not the Chinese guy, huh? Not anymore.
You know what? They stood up for me. I will never forget that. I will never shit talk them again. Not that I ever did.
Good.
I'm very loyal. So if you stand up for me, I go to bat for you. Anyway. No, but like with Russia, though, they have a lot of gold, and so does North Korea. And there's, the initiative. What is the acronym? It's the 5 countries, and they're trying to create new shit outside of the West, and they're going to back it with precious metals. Russia and other entities have been buying a lot of it, and I don't know how much gold reserves we have here in the United States or silver, precious metals, but it's pretty scary.
Well, you see videos like of the Fed with, tons of it down, below the ground. And supposedly, a lot of banks are buying up gold and silver right now, and they're preparing for something. Maybe they were preparing for this collapse of, the banks, at least this mild crisis that's been going on lately. But who really knows? We, the people, will never really know probably the truth until it's way too late. And so that's why it's a good idea to prepare and have a little bit of that stuff. If you see the big name people buying up gold and silver, you should do it too. That's kind of like always been my saying.
The bottom line is you can't go wrong doing it. It is the oldest form of money outside of sex. It's not going anywhere. The only thing that's going to fuck up gold and silver and precious metals is space mining. And that's 100 years out. All the billionaires in the world could pool all their money together and they wouldn't even come close to the break-even point of mining in space. Once that does happen, then things are going to change because precious metals are pretty common in outer space. But I mean, and then what's it going to take? They bring it back down here. My God, it's not our problem. Then again, the bottom line is you can't go wrong buying just a little bit. Just keep adding to it. You won't be sorry.
Every country in the world that's any sort of power has gold reserves. Mm-hmm. So what does that tell you that you should be doing?
Exactly. It's why North Korea has all their power, because all their money that they're stealing, I mean, they're a state-sponsored criminal enterprise, but they put it all into gold. They don't put it into the cash or anything else. It's their precious metal reserves. It's why their gold and silver is the hardest shit on earth to get. They kill you if they catch you taking out the country, any of it. I don't know if you know this. I am the #1 dealer of North Korean coins and currency in the United States now.
No,
yeah. No. I did my homework. It was not easy to find, but I went down some internet rabbit holes. I've been selling it now for about 1.5 years, but I got a contact in Europe. And an ounce of silver from North Korea. Low end is 150. High end, $400, $500, $600. The dealer sometimes has stuff that's over 1,000 for an ounce. Gold is 6,000. I've never even seen it. It's never even been advertised to me. It's yeah, they guard that shit like it's the Queen's jewels.
Pawn Man, biggest win when it comes to something you bought, and then the biggest loser of something you bought.
Okay, biggest win. I actually had pretty recently. It's dollar in versus dollar out. I got two I'll tell you about. Last summer, I bought a bunch of Matchbox cars. I ended up covering it on my YouTube channel because, you know, every episode of Pawn Man, we do a subject. So, but I did a deal. I spent $500. I bought 88 Matchbox cars. It was $5.88 a box. And I thought I got hosed. The lead went 1,000. I was like, I'll do 500. Those Matchbox cars were $50 to $100 each. I made thousands. I had no goddamn idea. Other one that happened more recently, and I'm gonna make so much money on it. I have this guy, I call him the picker. He's like on American Pickers, kind of. He goes around to flea markets around the United States, comes back to Minnesota, sells the shit to me. He has been getting me boxes and boxes of tokens, and there's some really good shit. He will sell me a giant tub full of tokens. We're talking maybe 20,000 tokens. Like $200-300, and I can get $5 to $10 a token. So it's you know, it's found money. Each bin that he has, I might have retail 6 figures worth of tokens. The problem is I have to list it all, and I am really goddamn busy. I don't have time to go through all that. I have 2 people who work for me, and they're really busy. One of them's part-time and old, and the other one I'm killing them with how much I'm working on because we're so busy. So, you know, what people don't seem to understand about me is I'm not rich. I have not been doing this for very long. I elevated myself out of poverty to get where I am. And it has been a struggle. I opened this business on just $80,000 and it's been going well, but my operating budget is very small and I don't make a whole lot of money on social media. Having 1 million followers online does not equal $1 million. I got $1 million vase I can't sell, which is a real bummer because I could sure use the money, but it's a struggle. So, I forgot the point I was making out with this, but it's like I am not in the position to be buying a whole lot and you know, but I have so much stuff advertised to me at any given day. My least favorite thing to buy, to answer your other question, like money lost. Well, besides fake shit and getting burned on fake shit. Oh, here we go. Actually, I got some. I want to show this to you.
Well, you would think, and I know you're gone, but you would think with like the tub of tokens, you could just put them like on some kind of listing you have on a website saying like 1 token for $5 at random.
The problem is they're all specific because they're all different kinds. And you know, some of them are very expensive. I had a Pope one. I got $80 on a Pope one.
Geez.
So, you know, you got to pick through. I got moon landing ones do really well. In fact, I got a bunch of them sitting here on my desk. This is from 1972 Mardi Gras. Schlitz. It's aluminum. I'll get $4 on this on my whatnot auction tonight. Okay. I bought a fake chain once. It was $1,000 I spent and it was gold filled. I got $100 back. So it was a $900 mistake. This is the story that just happened, and this is an excellent lesson. And I'm angry it happened. I will eventually get my money out on this, but it's a good lesson, a good story. So I have an individual, I've known him since I opened the shop up. He's one of my first customers, and I see the guy like once a week. He sells a lot of shit to me. Hispanic guy, he owns a landscaping company, but he's got a bunch of kids. He brings his kids in. I give his kids gifts on their birthday when they come in. Like, I have a really good relationship with this guy. So he's in here the other week and he's selling me a whole bunch of expensive stuff. He's always got premium stuff, which I don't always like buying because the margins, you know, if you do well, great, but it's weird, expensive stuff doesn't always sell fast. And like, just because I'm not operating on a lot of money, I don't like that shit because then it sucks up money and causes me problems. So this is at the end of the deal. This is Rock of Ages. This is a 40-ounce proof from Gibraltar, pure silver. They only made 1,500 of these. He tells me I said, okay, how much you want? This was before silver took off a couple weeks ago. He says he's got $1,350 into it and he's had it for years and he doesn't want to sell it, but he has to because he's in a hard spot. I offer him $1,100, $1,350, please, because it's what I paid. Fine, I'll give you $1,350 because I know you and I like you. And he says, will you hold on to it for me too? Because I do want to eventually buy it back from you. And I'm thinking like, fuck, you want me to sink all this money into this thing up pan and then not sell it? I'm not really in the position to do that, but okay, because I like you. So we do the deal. And then Monday, another dealer's in here and he looks down at my showcase and he sees this and he says, where'd you get that? So I bought it on Saturday. I said, oh, weird. Because another dealer, he says the other dealer's name, sold it on Saturday. Whoa. What? Now, they only made 1,500 of these. No fucking way 2 of these were sold the same day in Minnesota. So I messaged the other dealer, and sure enough, this guy fucking lied to me, took advantage of my kindness. He bought it for $960, came over here, came straight here. I offered him more money than he paid, and then he took advantage of my kindness, and he fucked me for another $250. So for the cost of $250, he's destroyed his relationship with me. I'll still do business with him, but I ripped him a new ass. He came in here, and I was like, I caught you, and I do not appreciate that. I thought I could trust you and that I thought we had a good rapport, and you completely fucking took advantage of me. Obviously, you don't give a fuck about me or anything but yourself. You know, just it didn't register with him why I was mad. And it's like, okay, it's one thing to wheel and deal. It is another thing to profit, but then you decide to just lie to me and take more money from me. So what this reminded me of so much, and what the lesson is, and I'm glad that I have it as a lesson to share with everybody, is this is a mean motherfucking business. Nobody's your friend. And people who you think are your friends, turns out they're not. You can't let your guard down. You can't be trusting to people. You have to be careful. Even if you think you know somebody, they might just one day turn around and stab you in the back. So this really, you know, I'm as far as your question goes, I'm going to make money on this, but this stung. This made me mad. I'm still mad about this.
A coin shop dealer had given me a video of a really good customer that they had. I guess he's been, you know, a customer for years from this shop. And then one day the coin dealer walks away, and in the video you can see the customer reach over the counter, grab a Morgan dollar, stuff it in his pants, and just like that becomes a thief from a well-known customer. You know, right. You just keep. I mean, that's unfortunate.
It really is. You know, it's like I guess call me arrogant. I guess I'm cut from a higher cloth because I would never do something like that. And when people do, it is so jarring to me. I just think, who the fuck raised you? God, get some goddamn morals. You know, there's business. This is a cutthroat business. Sure, I do underpay people. If you ask me to, if you say, I don't know what I have and I don't care what I get, I'm going to underpay you. You know why? Because the guy down the street's going to do it. And so is this guy. And so is the guy who trained me. He's going to do it the worst. So I'm an idiot if I don't do that. But there's a difference. There's a way to have morals and have a good character and conduct yourself properly and appropriately. And just that some people have no fucking concept of that. Fuck them.
Now, with thievery, you've helped catch some thieves. Has any more of that stuff been going on in your shop as far as people trying to pull one over on you and stuff?
Actually, yeah, we had 2 weeks ago, Monday. No, it was last week. It was last Monday. I filmed it for YouTube. It hasn't come out yet. In fact, actually, you guys watching, it'll probably be on my YouTube channel this week. So go check it out, probably around the same time as you're going to put this out. I had a warning from another watch dealer that there was a ring going around, and I got a description. Hispanic girl, young, stinks of weed. She's got a Rolex box, papers, all that. It's a really good fake, but it's fake. Watch out. So I'm thinking, God, I hope she comes in because I'd make great content. I could use some good footage for YouTube here. And I'm sitting here at my desk, and she comes in, and I said to her, I go, I've been waiting all day for you. Come on in. And she comes in, and I'm thinking, okay, well, is it her? I don't know if it's her. I never got a picture of her, and I smell the weed. I'm like, oh, definitely her. And then she got the Rolex box. I'm like, oh yeah, definitely her. So did a little masquerade with her just to, you know, draw it out a little bit, make some good television. And then I busted her and I was like, okay, what you're doing here is illegal. I'm going to call the police. And she went running out. But my local police department doesn't give a flying fuck about me. In fact, they actually don't like me. Last year, right before I talked to you, maybe it was after it was before I talked to you. Yeah, it was like 2 months before I talked to you. There was a guy going around here robbing gold and silver shops, and he was violent and brazen, and it was a string. He was going shop to shop to shop to shop to shop to shop, and like a bunch of dealers I know got hit by him. I got hit by him, and he grabbed a half-ounce gold. He did it really quick. What's funny is he was 6'6", 400 pounds, moved like a ballerina. And this was how he would do. So I got so frustrated that nobody seemed to be giving a fuck. I started making videos about him on social media, and then the local news covered me, and I had to call the FBI because I could not get anyone to take me seriously about this guy. And it's like, nobody's investigating this guy. And he's stolen, by my count, he's stolen over $150,000 in a few weeks. Why is this not a big deal? So I made a TikTok, it blew up, talked to the news, and I still couldn't get anybody to take it seriously. So I called the FBI. They took my statement. I said, you guys, this man is going to cross state lines soon if he hasn't done it already. So he will be, if you haven't heard about him yet, you will soon, because he's going to be federal at this point. This guy's going to hurt someone. He's 6'6", 400 pounds. How many people, and he's black. How many people in the state of Minnesota could that be? Look at, like, just look and see. Surely you could fucking go knock on a couple doors. Maybe 2 weeks after that TikTok, he went to Wisconsin, and you know what, come to think of it, you put a video out about him. Yeah, Kimberly, Wisconsin. Yeah, that's him. That's the same fucking guy. Yeah, brazen, trying to run a guy over. There was some gunfire exchange. I don't think he's shot, but he got shot at. Very dramatic arrest. Car broke down in the next town. But sure enough, like I said, I'm pretty sure on why he crossed state lines, because I turned the heat up in Minnesota about him so much that, I don't know. But other than that, no, nobody recently. But, don't come into my shop because I will put your ass on the internet.
No, actually, I've seen that little clip. I don't know if you put the whole thing out yet, but obviously the little clip of you almost like doing the selfie view with the woman behind you saying, look at her, look at her, look at the.
She didn't look up. Unfortunately, she didn't look up because I think she knew what I was doing. But
of course,
they also had a fake license plate, which is mega illegal. And again, I called and made a police report. They didn't care. It was like, did you not hear the part about the felony or the theft felony? No, it's a boring suburb. What the hell else do you guys have to do?
Pawn Man, before we go, what's the future like for Pawn Man? What's your plans? What's going on? What's happening in the future?
Well, YouTube here remains my number one boulder and pushing up a mountain. It boggles my mind how hard it is to get viewers on YouTube. I got 1.2 million here on TikTok, and getting them to convert over is so hard. And what sucks is, like, this is what I want, because this pays you fairly. I make $300 a month on TikTok. I get more views than the fucking Super Bowl. It's a joke. Versus on my 31,000 I'm at now, I do way better. So making this a viable part of my business where I'm not spending money making videos, because now I actually spend more money making than I take in. I want this to be paying so I can hire more staff. I want to expand the store. I want a bigger store because I'm starting to feel like monkey in the cage, because it's not very big in here. And I get people coming in all the time. I'm getting more and more stuff advertised to me. The store is filling up, and I need to expand this operation, but I don't have the money to do that. I don't want to get more loans. I just want to do it organically and naturally. So whatever I can do to just keep building my presence and persona and make it so I don't have fucking money problems like I do now, because it'd be really great to not spend my entire operating capital and sell everything and make it all back in like every 3 days. Like, I'm turning shit that fast. It's a grind. But yeah, just keep making great content. I'd like to get a TV deal one day. Or if not, I'm fine making stuff here on YouTube, but I'd like more staff. That's the biggest thing for me, is I need more help.
I find it so interesting.
Don't ask me for a job, by the way. People on the internet, don't ask me for a fucking job. That drives me crazy. Can't afford to hire you. And if you come from the internet, I definitely don't want to hire you.
And you got to spell correctly if you're going to do death threats. Yeah. No, I find it interesting that like Instagram or TikTok, you can be famous on those platforms, but try to be famous on a different platform, and it's like so hard. Trying to go to, I don't know, let's just say Facebook. It's like impossible. Like, I'm not going to make it on Facebook, at all. It's just weird.
You ain't missing anything on Facebook. I fucking hate Facebook. And what's funny is that has the biggest reach for me. And I hate Facebook so much. I didn't even make my own account. My employee did. And one day he goes, "Hey, Evan, when your Facebook's got 500,000 hits." I'm like, "Wait, we're on Facebook?" So, and yeah, I get like new viewers. They're mainly coming from Facebook, but there's just so much toxic and stupid and crazy on Facebook. I can't deal with it. So I do not give a fuck about Facebook. But yeah, so I don't know, I guess I do well on all the different social media outlets, but like YouTube is definitely the hardest. And it's curious because this is the one I have the best product on here. I try the hardest on here, and it's the smallest. It's the damnedest thing.
Well, hopefully my audience, if anybody really is this far into the video right now, they'll go down and click on that little link down below and check out your YouTube and your TikTok, whatever you want to send to people. I'll definitely put that down there for you. Really appreciate you coming on again. Let's do it again, in a little while, and see how things progress and how things change.
Absolutely. And I got to have you on my channel too. We'll talk in a minute here, but you're a gem and you make great content. And I appreciate all the people in this industry that are putting out information about it, because even though there's still not a lot of people that are jumping on and doing this. There's still not enough. So anybody who's relaying good information like you do is a tremendous resource.
Yeah, try to have fun. And I'm not as bubbly and wild as you are, but I just have a different way of approaching it. And
Trust me, some days I am fucking acting. The bubbly smile ain't real. I stop recording and it's pure swear words and frowns out of my mouth. But
well, Pawn Man, greatly appreciate it. Again, if you are wanting to check out Pawn Man, down below in the description. If you're going to send him a death threat, make sure it's spelled correctly.
please fucking spell it right. My God.
Yeah, please. That's all we ask.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon.
We'll chat soon. Thanks.
Well, hello, everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular.